Hello again, friends, and welcome to my second segment from Hilton Head Island 2023. I'd like to welcome you to a different segment tonight because I am now going to continue with the feature that I started a few segments ago with unique unique white wines. So what I did was I decided to feature some of the unique red wines while I was here in Hilton Head, South Carolina, so that I could continue this segment with you. Both on the white and on the red side, these segments will continue going forward because there are a number of unique red and white wines that I want to be able to share with you as we move forward. But as you can see, tonight's feature is going to be some unique red wines that I totally enjoy, that I have in my cellar, and that I want to be able to share with you. But before we do anything further, I would like to break open, because I'm in a celebratory mood, a nice bottle of sparkling Lambrusco from Italy. Because if you look behind me, the wonderful scene of the beautiful Atlantic Ocean here on Hilton Head Island has just inspired me to want to share a little bit of cheer with you. So allow me to open this wonderful sparkling Lambrusco from Italy. It's bone dry. You know I love that sound. And it will allow me to begin this segment. This one is available. If you look around for a Rosé Brut sparkling Lambrusco, you will find this. You can't beat that on a warm day in Hilton Head, South Carolina. However, we need to change our focus a little bit, but I needed to wet my whistle with this. So let's do that and let's begin. So I have searched for 3 red wines that I have in my collection so far, and they're not limited to these 3, but I'm going to start with these 3 because there are so many red wines and even white wines that are very unique and very different than the ones that you're normally used to. When you think of red wines, you're thinking of Pinot Noir, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, the Italian grapes, Sangiovese, Pinot Noir. None of those are here. And that's for a good reason, because I wanted to share with you some of the unique red wines that are very good, that are definitely attainable. The last thing I want to do is share with you wines that are just, say, Doc G, why'd you share that with us? We have to go to Mars to find it. Well, any one of these 3, I can guarantee you, you don't have to go to Mars or even leave the planet to find them. So let me begin with the 3 wines that I have assembled here for you that are unique reds. Let me tell you what they are, and then we'll go one by one through each one of them. The first one is a grape called Norton, and it is a grape that is unique to the United States and America, the American continent, and I'll explain that when we get to it. The second one is a grape called Lemberger, also known by the label Blau Frankisch. And the third one is a wine found exclusively in Spain called Mencía. And I'm using the Spanish pronunciation there. You're going to be hard-pressed to find this, depending on what state you live in. I know Pennsylvania does not do a good job with stocking Mencía, but it is a fantastic alternative to Pinot Noir, and it stands the test of time on its own. But it is only grown in Spain, so that's why it's very unique. So let me start off our unique red wine segment with the very first one that does not come from too far from home for me, and is a grape that I discovered a number of years ago and I fell in love with. I didn't trust it, but I tasted it and I actually loved it. It is a grape called Norton. I'm going to post a little bit on the website for you about the Norton grape because there's a lengthy history, but I'm going to summarize it in a few words for you here. Norton is not Vitis vinifera. Vitis vinifera is the classification of grapes that comprises Cabernet Sauvignon, Chardonnay, basically all the old world European grapes. This one is called Vitis avistalis, and this one actually saved the European grape stock back in the day from the phylloxera rot that occurred and almost wiped out the entire, stock of all of the Vitis vinifera grapes. They grafted the Vitis aestivalis onto the Vitis vinifera, and they saved, move this glass back here, they saved the day with the Norton grape, the American grape. So I'll post that and you can read up on that. It is a very unique story, one that you'll want to take a read on. But the Norton grape is very, how should I say it? You're not going to find Norton in California. California is not going to grow Norton. It's one of those eastern, more southern type of grapes. Virginia is probably, for me, the king of growing the Norton grape. And I would put out a word of caution. You're going to see wine bottles out there that say Norton on them. There is a wine company called Norton. That is a wine company. It is not the name of the grape. This is the Norton grape. And this one actually, the one that I have in the glass here, comes from a winery in Northern Virginia called Chrysalis. And they are one of the greatest producers of great Norton in the United States. There are other wineries there that do Norton, and there are other wineries in the United States that do Norton. But I would suggest to you that the best Norton is made in the state of Virginia. So I have the Norton in my glass. I'm going to taste it here for you. The tannins on this grape are unlike any of the other tannins that you'll find in the Vitis vinifera grapes. There's virtually no tannin on this grape, but it's dry, it's fruity, it's compelling, and it is a wine that you should not avoid. If you have the opportunity, I know Pennsylvania does not do a good job with stocking Norton, but it is worthy of searching. And if you can find Norton, I highly suggest that you try to find some of this wonderful, wonderful grape. I'm going to read to you from the back of the bottle from this Chrysalis vineyard where I bought it. It says, in 1873 at the Vienna Universal Exhibition in Austria, 1873, a Norton wine was acclaimed the best red wine of all nations. That's an American grape. So basically, the Chrysalis winemakers, this is the true American red grape. This is not from the old world. This is an American grape, dry red wine. And I don't wear my patriotism on my chest, but I would tell you that it is great that this wine is something that America can hang its hat on and that we can drink proudly and say it is truly the American grape. Unfortunately, too many Americans will reach for a Cabernet Sauvignon, a Merlot, or a Zinfandel, none of which are of American origin. So let's move on from the Norton. I think I've talked about that enough. I'll post for you my notes on Norton so that you can read up on it and go on your own search for this great American red wine. Great American dry red wine. There's nothing sweet about this, and I'm sure that if you're able to find it, you will love it. The other two red wine grapes that I think are very unique are, the second one is a grape called Lemberger. This one happens to come from one of my favorite wineries in the Finger Lakes, Hosmer. It's a 2016, so it's been aging, and I'm sure, I don't have this one open to drink. I have all the confidence in the world that this one is going to be a fantastic grape when I drink it. Lemberger is also known as Blaufränkisch. It is a cold climate red grape that originates from Austria and Germany, and it is a fantastic, soft tannin, wonderful wine that you can have with food. You can sip it. It's not big and badass like a Cabernet Sauvignon, but it is a smooth and mellow, wonderful red wine. You need to know that the only wines that there are not, you need to, let me rephrase this. There are wines beyond Cabernet, Zinfandel, and Pinot Noir that are fantastic. And these three are examples of exactly what I'm talking about. So this one comes from the Finger Lakes. If you were to go to Austria, you would find Blaufränkisch and Lemberger everywhere. In this country, you're going to find it on the East Coast. It is a cool climate, red grape, Lemberger, Blaufränkisch. If you can find it, buy it, because you will not be sorry. Especially for those of you who do not like big, bad red wines, this is a real soft and subtle, fantastic food wine that you would enjoy. And the third one that I have for you tonight is a wine that is near and dear to my heart, because I discovered this one in my wine searches. It is a wine called Mencía. And the Mencía grape comes from the northeastern corner of the Iberian Peninsula. It's near Portugal and in the area of Spain called Galicia. This is in the same area where you'll find great Albarino. However, this is a red wine that is grown only in Spain, as far as I know. You will not find Mencía beyond the Spanish borders. It's not an expensive wine, but it is a rival and a counterpart to great Pinot Noir. If you can find yourself a Mencía, you will not be sorry. So I'm going to sip my last sip of this Norton. That's such a wonderful wine. Since I also started out our segment, even though this is not red, Lambrusco is traditionally red. This is a Lambrusco it's a Rosé Brut from Italy. I couldn't do a segment without having a little bit of bubbly, especially with this. The breezes that are hitting me now are absolutely fantastic. I wish you were here. I would love to share this wine with you, but I hope you enjoyed this segment. So until we meet again, cheers and stay safe.